The 23-24 Premier League season is over. So I'm going to look at my predictions, my final predictions, that is, from last summer that I made for every single Premier League team, 20th to 1st. I'm going to give you my predictions, go back and look at what I said, and we'll see how wrong I was. I'm going to take some inspiration from a very popular football YouTuber known as Irish Guy. You might know him. He's about 200 times bigger than me, so no big deal, but I feel like it won't hurt to borrow this concept because I do think it's cool. He went through and he gave himself a -1 point, or however many points off he was wrong by. And he basically tried to get under -20 for the list. He got a -56. I'm going to try to beat his -56. Let's see how I do. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video if you enjoy. It's the easiest way to support the channel. Comment down below with how you did this season with your Premier League predictions. And as always, thank you for joining me. I'm Sideline Sedo. Let's get stuck into things with 20th. Let's see who I predicted for 20th. 20th, hate to do it, Luton Town. They haven't invested a lot. They're going to try their best. They're going to give it their all. And their home stadium is going to hopefully for them be a fortress. I think it's going to be an entertaining atmosphere to play in. I just don't see them really being up to the Premier League standard. So Luton isn't the worst of predictions. Let's be honest. Luton, a lot of people were like, oh, they're going to be an exciting side and they're going to be free-flowing. And they were that at times. Other times, not so much. And they performed against some sides, but they lost against the sides around them a lot of times. They had some very shambolic games throughout this season where they just dropped points against the likes of Burnley, Sheffield, where they shouldn't have. You know, they really just kind of, the wheels fell off towards the end. The quality was, at the end of the day, really never there to be truly Premier League level and to stay up. It was pretty predictable, but, you know, they ended up finishing 18th. So -2 on that one. Thanks, Luton. Thanks, Rob Edwards, starting off the list with a great start. So we're just going to move forward to 19th because, you know, hoping to get some right early on to set the precedent, to keep myself kind of cushioned away from embarrassment of getting worse than the Irish guy. So 20th, not the best. Let's see who I put in for 19th. We have Sheffield United. Sheffield United, I think, will be in 19th place. I just don't see this squad having a lot of firepower, particularly. I don't see the squad being necessarily that challenging for a lot of the top level Premier League teams. This might come back to bite me most likely, but I just have a feeling that their manager is going to be sacked very early in the season. They're going to kind of flounder, maybe get a new manager bounce when they appoint someone. But by the time Christmas passes and we're in the new year in 2024, I think they're going to start to struggle and start to drop. So I got some things right with Sheffield, and for the most part, I feel like most people predicted them to go down. And at the end of the day, you know, I expected them to sack their manager early and just kind of wheels would fall off. They wouldn't pick up form. They wouldn't get results. It's basically what happened. But I got it wrong because I put them in at 19th. They finished 20th, -1 to a grand total of -3 points so far. Also 0 of 2. So that's lovely. But we're going to keep trucking. We're going to hopefully, you know, start to get some more normal picks. These haven't been crazy so far, just off by a couple points. So I'm not too upset. Let's see who we got for 18th, the last in the relegation zone. Hopefully I got all three right because, I mean, all three teams that went up went down. So let's see how it went. I have Wolves. Wolverhampton Wanderers have lost a lot of players. Ruben Neves, their star player, their captain, has left as well. Connor Cody is gone. He was on loan at Everton last season, but doesn't really change the fact that he's been a mainstay at Wolves in a while. Joel Moutinho also gone. And Julian Lopetegui has not been too pleased with the way that Wolves has handled their transfer business this window. Wolves. What on earth was I thinking? I'll be honest with you. I don't know what I was thinking. I could try to rationalize it simply by the fact that, you know, there's the managerial shift. Ruben Neves was leaving. He was big for them. Nope. They finish 14th. They said they'd get relegated. They finished 14th. That brings us up to what? -7. That's great. Yeah, so far it hasn't been the most swimming of starts. I'm hoping, and really hoping, because I feel like my reputation will be in tatters if I get like a minus 60 plus. That'd be really bad. But at the end of the day, not like crazy off besides the Wolves one. 2 out of 3 teams right. 0 of 3 on correct positions, though. So that's pretty bad. But out of the relegation zone into 17th, hopefully, I get something right. Like, I got to start getting them right. But 17th place, I think it's going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be Nottingham Forest. I think they're just going to stay up. They haven't really bought many players this season. They bought a ton of players last season. They were criticized for it. Lingard didn't work out. He's gone now. I just have a feeling that Nottingham Forest will be able to kind of like scrape by just barely. Nottingham Forest, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for getting 17th and letting me get this prediction like smack dab square on. 17th felt right. I didn't expect Steve Cooper to get relegated, or not relegated, get sacked. I expected him to struggle, be close to the sack, just keep them up, and Marinakis would, have some kind of goodwill because maybe a turnaround for the second half of the season just sees Forrest kind of look like a better outfit. He got sacked. Espirito Santos come in. The sides looked better since then, and yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. 17th, 1 of 4 so far with the correct positions. Not too bad. But yeah, have to keep it up, and we'll see how we get on, because ultimately I'm hoping for some better results in the future, because don't want to be anywhere near the Irish guy towards the end. I want to blow him out the water. So let's keep trucking. Let's see what I predicted for 16th. Hopefully I get that one right. 16th I had. But yeah, similar season for Everton. I am a Liverpool fan, so take that as you will. But let's be honest, Everton hasn't really made any astonishing signings this summer. They haven't really reinvented their squad. And last season, they barely stayed up anyways. And the season before that, also barely stayed up. So as it stands, I feel like Everton, they'll stay up. They'll be ahead of, Nottingham Forest in 16th and the relegated candidates. But they're not going to necessarily, they're not going to make any major moves this season. I mean, Everton, listen, points deduction and all. This was a decent season. They stayed up, considerably. They weren't really there like at the end of the season on the final day, hoping to God that they stay up. They stayed up with comfort. They could have been higher up in the table should they not have gotten points deductions. But yeah, -1 point on this. I said they finished 16th. They finished 15th. I mean, I'm not going to be too upset about that. I'll be honest with you. Like, there's worse sort of results and positions to predict. So -1 on that, taking us to a grand total of what? -8, I believe. Not too bad. Still 1 of 5 for correct predicted positions. So hopefully, we got to get this momentum going. 15th, let's see who I had. I have a feeling it's going to be Bournemouth. Andoni Iraola will have a good season, I think, but I think that the squad is just very light. I think that 1 or 2 injuries could really hurt them. Nope. Not right whatsoever. Bournemouth had them in 15th. They finished 12th. Andoni Iraola, he's been great. Bournemouth have turned it around. I really like the look of some of their players. Semenyo, Ouattara, Kirkegge, they all look like really talented players. So egg on my face there because, man, I look like a fool. But, being that they were 3 points off and being that I had, what was it, -2, -3, -4, -11. -11, only, what, 5 positions in? Yeah, so 1 of 5. No. Yeah, one of 6, actually, I should say, so far in correct predicted positions. Tough look, but we're gonna keep moving. I'm a hopeful person. I'm optimistic. We're gonna get some right. So after all that, we'll see how it went. See who I got in 14th. Like hoping for some good rhythm. we'll see.
14th place, I am going to give to West Ham. Last season, they struggled in the Premier League because of the Conference League. This season, they're going to struggle in the Premier League because of the Europa League.
Oh my God, -5 points, -16 total so far. I'm going to pass Irish guy, aren't I? That's a bad prediction. Straight up a bad prediction. I mean, like back then, I can't blame myself. Paqueta, I mean, today news came out that he's probably going to get charged with some sort of match fixing thing by the FA. It's been punished before that specific charge for up to 10 years. So tough look. Looked like he might be going to City. Looked like he might be, banned possibly for gambling. There's a lot of stuff that was swirling around with West Ham. They had a rough season the year before, domestically at least. I thought that they just wouldn't be able to click, but I mean, the likes of Kudus has really brought in a new kind of air to the side. So -5 is terrible. But man, like we'll just keep going because it's bad now, but it could get worse. But I'm hoping it gets better. So West Ham in 14th, 5 points off. That gets us up to -16. Yeah, lovely stuff. Let's see who I had in 13th because I'm hoping we'll correct course. We'll steer onto the right track. We'll be good. So 14th was wrong. 13th, let's see who I had.
13th, I'm going to go with Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace finished 12th last season. I think they're going to have a similar season.
Oliver Glasner, you menace. You have somehow duped us. Palace is the side that finishes below 10th, not in 10th. So me predicting him to go, 13th, not crazy. But Glasner just has to activate some kind of dark magic that he possesses to, be able to get Eze, Olise, and Mateta just firing on all cylinders to close out the season. And they finished 10th. I mean, listen, 3 points off. That's what, -21 now. Not ideal. Not ideal whatsoever. Man, that one hurts because I had a feeling they finished there or thereabouts. But yeah, 12th place though. 12th place can't be that much worse, right? Right.
Next 12th, I'm going to go with Burnley. I think Burnley's going to have a smashing campaign. They just signed Sander Berg from Sheffield United, who's also going to be a big loss for Sheffield. And I think that they're just going to really come into their own this season. Honestly, I have a feeling that they're going to upset City at Burnley. Whether that's a draw or a win for them, I don't know. I think they're going to put a good performance out on the opening day of the season, really set precedent for this upcoming campaign. And I think they'll finish in 12th. I think Company will have a great season.
Burnley. Bloody Burnley. In 12th. Burnley. Bro, what was I on? Listen, I made a video ranting about Company today. He's set to join Bayern. Burnley just got relegated. I predicted them to go 12th. What is the matter with me? This might be the worst one on the list. It's the worst one so far. -7. I think that brings us up to a score of -28. Oh God. Oh God. We're not even halfway up the list and we're half. Oh God. This is bad. Now that I'm realizing it, we're not even halfway up the list. We have half of the total wrong that Irish guy had. He had -56. We're at -28. This video is not going to go well. And I'm probably going to get -60. But Burnley. Wow. Yeah, I just thought I was being clever. I'll be honest. I'll be totally honest. I thought I was being a clever hipster type to be like, yeah, they'll finish 12th. They'll rock the league. free-flowing football. Hell nah. They played awful. I'm ashamed of myself. I don't even want to show my face. Like I'm embarrassed, quite frankly, because how do you get 7 points off? Like on a recently promoted side. Not like it's not like I'm saying Arsenal is gonna finish in the top 4 and then they finish 18th and I'm like, oh my god, what an idiot. This is Burnley we're talking about. Burnley. Okay. Minus 28. Whatever. We're gonna get some right. Just mathematically, it's gonna start lining up. It's gotta. Who's in 11th? Just please be right.
Fulham. They have signed Raul Jimenez. They're kind of a mess right now. A lot of links to Saudi clubs for the likes of their coach, Marco Silva, as well as Alexander Mitrovic, their star striker. I just kind of feel like, I don't know, Fulham will languish a bit. Maybe have a harsh start to the season based on, all these rumors and links and kind of lack of a true identity in the first squad until it kind of settles. And I think eventually we'll see Fulham kind of climb the table as the season progresses. And I think they'll stick with Marco Silva as the campaign unfolds.
Fulham finished 13th. I really overestimated them too. Minus 30. I think I've gotten one right on the list so far. That's bad. Minus 30. I don't want to dwell on Fulham. They lost Mitrovic. I thought it wouldn't really matter because I thought they'd invest the cash wisely. They had a season. So yeah, let's just get past that. 10th place. We're gonna start getting them right, I expect, anytime soon. So 10th place. Let's see what you got, Sedo. Who'd you put in at 10th place? Please. I'm now seeing that Palace finished 10th, so it's not gonna be right. But anyways, who was it? Don't be too far off.
10th place. This is crazy. There's a lot of teams here, but I'm gonna go with Brentford.
Bournemouth. Brentford. I said Brentford would finish 10th. 10th. Mate, that is minus 6. Bringing me to a grand total of, I won't even keep track. I'm just going to have it somewhere in the corner because, oh my God. That's a bad one. I thought Tony would come back, a man reborn, trying to play for his spot in the Euros, trying to get a move somewhere in England this summer. Thomas Frank just mismanaged them. They still can't organize the defense to save their lives. Why the hell did they sign Nathan Collins? I don't know. I don't know what to say because right now the score is whatever. And I keep getting them wrong. So yeah, let's just move forward from Brentford because 9th place, I'm hoping for something right. Who'd I have in 9th?
9th place, I'm going to go with... This is tough here. But I have a feeling it's going to be tough here. Tough. I'm going to put Tottenham there. Sorry, Tottenham, but with Kane leaving, I can't justify not having Tottenham in 9th.
Lads, try to understand me when I say that they would have finished 9th, but it's Tottenham. I got minus 4 on that one. I thought Kane leaving would just totally gut that side. It didn't. Postecoglou, what a coach. Obviously, sometimes a bit too stuck in his ways and ends up getting burnt as a result. But they finished 5th. I said 9th. I just need to get to the end of this video at this point because I can't fathom how I'm going to feel if I get worse than the Irish guy. I really can't. And at this point, I don't even know the score. I'm going to know once I'm editing because I've given up on keeping track because it's too hard. at this point in time, and I'm just upset with how bad I'm doing. So, 8th place. Fingers crossed. Let's see. Come on, Sedo. Let's get 8th right, please, bro. Please.
8th place. 8th place, tough to say. I'm going to go with Villa. People are saying they think Villa is going to get, they're going to do well, but Villa has Conference League football. And while we have a really talented manager at the wheel at Villa, who's, going to probably do well in that competition, I think, once again, just the pure travel, the inexperienced some of the players at Villa with being in a competition like that, it's going to kind of wear on them as the season progresses.
Villa? Literal Aston Villa in 8th. Listen, I don't think anyone predicted them to finish 4th, but this one stings because I've been doing really bad. And to get them there means I'm getting some other ones really wrong too. Oh, man. Yeah. Villa didn't finish 8th. They finished 4th. What a poor choice. 7th, hoping for something good. 7's a lucky number. Lucky number 7. What do you have in store for me? Did I get it right?
Next up, we have 7th place. I think it's going to be Brighton Hove Albion. Brighton, another team who has sold a lot of big players, but has kept some players. A lot of people say 7th might be kind of a failure, but if they do well in Europa, like get to the semis or something, and then get Conference League qualifying, like that could be a huge step for them. Continuing to ensure that kind of European money comes in would be huge for a team like Brighton. So,
of course I didn't get it right. Brighton finished 11th. Outside the top half. Roberto De Zerbi, this is on you. And you know it's on you. You could have finished 7th. You could have. But no, you had to get your head turned by Liverpool, Bayern, Barcelona, Molde, whoever, God knows. I don't know, Palmeiras, anybody. Your head was turned by Aberdeen, mate. Like, I don't know. God knows where he's going to finish up, but this was a poor showing. And obviously, Brighton had a lot of injuries, but I really do think that Brighton fans are being far too nice towards Roberto De Zerbi. There's a lot of fans that I've seen online who proclaim to be Brighton fans, and they're like, hey, De Zerbi offered us the best football we've ever seen. And I know recently I said, who am I to deprive you of that kind of joy? As a Brighton fan, it's not me, it's not on me to discredit you of saying, De Zerbi is the best coach I've seen at Brighton. Yeah, but he's also literally the reason why you guys didn't finish top half. The reason why you guys aren't going to continue into Europe. He's the reason that just the way he acted towards the end really rubbed me the wrong way. I don't want to harp on it. I got that one wrong pretty bad. -4 again. Ouch. 6th place, hoping for something right. Come on. Let's just see.
6th place. 6th place. Honestly, I think it's going to be Newcastle. Sue me. I'm sorry, Newcastle fans, but I think that the Champions League is going to be a bit of a rude awakening. A lot of players who Newcastle have at the moment, the likes of Dan Burn, Matt Target, Richie, even Callum Wilson to an extent, aren't proven in the Champions League. But furthermore, they're also going to be playing a lot of games in the Premier League. I could see some rotation, obviously, but those players that are on that bench or some of the rotational aspects, now that St. Maximin's gone, especially the likes of Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon, I just don't see them really being able to put up a whole European campaign, like try to, do well in the Champions League and then also do really well like last season in the Premier League.
Okay. -1 I could live with. I predicted Newcastle to finish in around 6th place. They finished 7th. Not the worst. I could live with that one. Okay. Not too bad. My early predictions for Newcastle were crazy, but this I can live with. So 5th place, come on. 5th place, let's see what we got.
Next up, I have Chelsea in 5th. I think Chelsea has a squad that is very exciting, but with Nkunku getting that injury, with some lack of kind of final investment. You know, they still need like a defensive mid. It feels like they still need some other players to kind of round out the squad. I think they'll have a good campaign, but I think because of just the turnover in the squad, there's going to be a lot of moments where, you know, some players just aren't going to be totally tactically in tune and they'll make some mistakes. So 5th place for Chelsea.
Okay. Another -1. Chelsea, I mean, early in the season, it was looking bad. It looked like this could be one of the really, really wrong ones. But finished with -1 somehow, some way. Pochettino was sacked still. Chelsea's season was rocky. God knows who their next manager is going to be, and it's going to be really hard to predict them next season. But man, I don't know what the total's looking like. It's probably large by now. So it's I hope I've done well so far to keep Irish guy at bay. But we're getting into the top 4. Let's see who I had 4th.
I'm going to put United 4th, Arsenal 3rd. So everything I still say about Arsenal is true. I think they'll get top 4, but I forgot United's on the list. And United, I just feel like, is even more of a mystery.
Bloody Man United. That's the last time I ever trusted you lot. They got 8th. I predicted 4th, -4 points there. United. The one time I want you to pull through for me. Never again. Never again. I've learned better, and I will not be made a fool. So ultimately, I'm not like I just hope I'm beating Irish guy at this point. I hope my predictions. I hope I could get one more right. I've only gotten one right so far. So hopefully I got City winning the league. Because if I don't, yikes. But yeah, 3rd place, bring it on. Bring it on. Let's hear it.
4th place, I think, is going to be Arsenal. Arsenal, no offense, but once again, another team who's going to put a lot of people up to test in the Champions League. But I think some of the signings they made are just kind of weird. I really don't love the signing of Havertz. I think Rice is good. Like
Arsenal. All right. -1 there. Predicted 3rd. They got 2nd. You know, they have impressed me this season, Arsenal. I don't think my prediction was too crazy. I mean, I thought the Champions League would be a bit more of a burden. I thought there'd be more competition from Liverpool, honestly. I know I predicted Liverpool to be really high, and a lot of people didn't predict that. But ultimately, Arsenal, not the worst. -1. Scores racking up. God knows how bad it's going to get. But ultimately, not too upset with that one. They had a great season. So on to number 2. Please, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but please be Liverpool in 2nd, because if I don't get it right, then I only got Forest right, and that's I don't know what that's worth. Not much. So hoping that I have Liverpool in 2nd. Let's see who I had.
in 2nd place, I have Liverpool. And in 1st place, obviously, I have Man City.
Yes. Oh my God, the relief. Okay, so at least I got another one right somewhere. Liverpool didn't finish in 2nd. I got -1 on that one as well. But you can all imagine who I have in 1st now. Yeah. Liverpool season was very unpredictable, very kind of up and down. I can't really put it into words. I mean, Klopp's left feels different. Not too upset with this prediction. Still a -1. So, you know, we'll keep trucking to the final one, which is obviously Man City. I predicted them to win. That's the 2nd one I got right. Only got 2 right on the list. But yeah, that takes my final score to whatever that number is. I'll know that in the post of editing. If that number is below a 53, or no, a 56, is it? Yeah. If that number is below a 56, which is what Irish guy had, I'm a happy duck. If not, I look like I'm up it. So yeah, all in all, I mean, there's a lot of teams I got -1 on. I got 2 right. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that I was -1 on. That's rough. But live and let be. You know, predictions, that total up there. I don't know how much it's at, but that's how many places I was off by. So ultimately, a bit of a love-hate relationship with making Premier League predictions. And man, this one wasn't the best in terms of getting them right, but I had fun making it. Let me know how your predictions went in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Sideline Sedo. Peace.